Hi, I'm Erica Thompson, the Executive Director of the Ashland Independent Film Festival. Come on in. 2019 was an exciting year for AIFF. We had a great spring festival, we had brand new programming opportunities in the summer like outdoor screenings, and then in December we opened the all-new AIFF Film Center right here on Ashland's Main Street, including a space for us to sell our merchandise, a place to showcase our local partners and supporters, favorite local businesses, and an area where we could hold parties, receptions, gatherings for friends and supporters. And our favorite part, this brand new state-of-the-art screening space where we could hold classes, lectures, workshops, and small screenings. Of course, the pandemic prevented us from carrying out all of those dreams, but in the meantime, we've been really fortunate that we were able to move a lot of our programming onto the virtual space. When you interact with our virtual festivals, like Varsity World Film Weeks, you're supporting us in a way that empowers us to come back stronger than ever when it's time to reopen and rebuild. We look so forward to sharing all of this and more with you on Ashland's Main Street and be a vital source of cultural arts education when we can. And in the meantime, we appreciate your support, and it's my pleasure to turn it over to Richard Herskowitz, our Artistic Director, who will share more with you about World Film Weeks.
Thank you, Erica. So, Varsity World Film Weeks is an annual series that AIFF presents with coming attractions theaters every fall. It's usually 1 week in early October in the Varsity Theater in Ashland. The series has been running for 31 years, and AIFF has been programming it for the past 11 years. I've personally programmed 5 of these, along with my co-programmers. This year, those co-programmers are John Stadelman and Laura Thielen, and together we looked at over 60 new foreign features this summer that were sent to us by distributors and sales agencies. We narrowed down 15 selections, which I'm going to briefly preview for you now. But first, let's get some of the logistics out of the way. This year, Varsity World Film Weeks is running for 15 days on our virtual festival platform Eventive, October 2nd to 15th. You'll see that each of the 15 programs is playing for 48 hours. Most of them play on consecutive days. The films rent for $10 a piece, or $8 for students, seniors, or if you're experiencing financial hardship. We also have 2 passports available with discounts. I'll review these at the end of this presentation, or you can find out more at ashlandfilm.org. So let's get to the program. The reason I jump is the first of 4 documentary feature films in our program. Now, about a third of our selections are documentaries, and 2/3 are dramatic narrative features, and that's usually the case with World Film Week, unlike our film festival in April, which is usually about 2/3 documentaries. This British documentary is one of the most acclaimed of the past year. It's based on the book written by an autistic Japanese boy, Naoki Higashita, about the experience of being autistic. The director, Jerry Rothwell, creates this beautiful cinematic translation of the experiences revealed in the book, immersing us in autistic people's sensory worlds, the intensity and richness and beauty, as well as their frustrations and challenges. This film got the Audience Award for World Cinema Documentary Film at the last Sundance Film Festival and has been wowing audiences at many festivals since. Now, My Rembrandt is a documentary about the arts, and I love documentaries about the arts. And this Dutch filmmaker, Uke Hogendijk, made one of my favorite films about the life of museums, a film called The New Reich Museum. This film, My Rembrandt, also takes you behind the scenes in the art world and explores the obsession with Rembrandt by aristocratic art collectors, museum directors, and art dealers. Let's look at the trailer.
Oh mijn god, dit is goed. Dit is echt goed. How did he do it? Chop, chop, chop. Het stond gewoon oog in oog met Rembrandt.
Every time I went to bed, I had Madame on the right and Monsieur on the left.
Als de Rembrandts in deze categorie op de markt komen, betekent dat actie.
Nous aussi, on voulait les deux peintures.
Leggen die Fransen dus ineens 80 miljoen op tafel? Een diplomatieke rel. Nou en? Nou en? Laat maar komen, joh.
He let himself go. a free spirit, in fact.
I completely relate to the obsession.
Maar dat je echt iets ontdekt uit het niets. You've got one shot. Dat is zo fantastisch.
I'm not going to show the entire trailer in most cases, but you can go to our World Film Week website and see the trailer for every film in our program. The next documentary, Mother, is a film by a Belgian director named Christophe Bilson. Christophe is one of the filmmakers who we expect will join us for a Q&A at the end of his film. This film is one of the most beautiful and poetic documentaries I've seen in the past few years, and I've been wanting to show it since it was sent to me about a year ago. It's a portrait of a woman named Pom, who works in a small village in Thailand, taking care of elderly European women with Alzheimer's. In order to keep her job, Pom is kept distant from her own daughter, which obviously causes her a lot of pain. The film also depicts the elderly women with Alzheimer's and their relationships with their daughters. So, in a larger sense, the efforts of mothers and daughters to take care of each other is what this film is about. Once You Know is our fourth and final documentary. It's a personal essay film by the filmmaker who, like many of us, had felt paralyzed and overwhelmed by the threat of climate change. The film is about his journey around the world, talking to 4 international experts who've lived for many years with the conviction that we are headed for collapse. Here's the trailer.
We play, we laugh, we have been blessed. I left my American life behind to seek refuge in this French mountain village. But my worried mind spoils it all. I leave home, I go meet scientists, hoping their inner struggle will help me make sense of my own.
I often tell people that I live in a sort of practical day-to-day denial of climate change because it is unbearable. To know what I know is unbearable.
Un des gros problèmes auxquels on est confronté aujourd'hui, c'est qu'on a énormément de mal à se représenter un monde où il fera plus chaud.
Bait is our first narrative dramatic feature. Mark Kermode, the British film critic, calls it one of the most defining British films of the decade. I actually saw it online at the virtual Cannes Film Festival Marché and blew me away. It's an experimental narrative feature about the inhabitants of a fishing village which is being overrun by wealthy London vacationers. The film shatters the conventions of most film storytelling. It's black and white, the film is hand-processed, eyeline matches don't match. Don't let that put you off. I think you'll find the filmmaker's adventurousness thrilling. The End of Love is kind of like Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage, with the marriage falling apart entirely through online video calls. The husband is stuck in Israel and the wife is in Paris, and video chat is the only way they can communicate. I know people who are doing most of their interactions via Zoom these days are really going to relate. The film's directed by a talented Israeli director, Karen Ben Raphael. Twilight's Kiss is from Hong Kong. This time the romantic couple is gay and they are elderly. They've both spent much of their lives married and covering up their true sexual identities. This film really brings you inside the milieu of each of their families, and it's a passionate call for more human rights in Hong Kong, just as human rights are shown to be disappearing with the growing control of Hong Kong by mainland China. This, to me, is one of World Film Week's great discoveries. Kusipan is by Canadian filmmaker Miriam Verriot, written by her with the First Nations Innu novelist Naomi Fontaine. It's based on Fontaine's novel about 2 Innu girls' friendships over time. Let's see the trailer.
Ici, Maudit Piron. Ça veut dire mon ami. Mais moi, je t'appelle Nashim. Comme une sœur.
Tem mai un dacă să cirpăm de ce se vede un chat.
Faudrait que t'aies ta maison à toi.
On s'en construirait une maison. Tu avec un jacuzzi en plus. T'as dit ma tout dîner que t'as moi toi on va les bons.
Je vois qu'on a des nouveaux en plus, que ça fait longtemps que t'écris.
Oui, Thomas.
Le monde était surpris là, de voir une fille de la réserve dans l'atelier. Genre, on dirait qu'ils se mélangent pas à nous autres, là, les blancs. Arc. Ouais, c'est vraiment dégueulasse ce que je viens de dire, hein. Ok, je recommence.
The Perfect Candidate is actually the third film in a row I've been showing you by a woman director, and it may be the most feminist one of the batch and the biggest surprise. The director is Saudi Arabian, and she also made the wonderful film Wajda about a rebellious Saudi girl back in 2012. This film also has a rebellious heroine, a doctor who runs for political office and faces down a host of obstacles. Let's check it out.
السلام عليكم. سعيدة جدا بحضوركم الليلة. طبعا أغلبكم يعرفوني زين وتعرفون سبب وجودي هنا. أنا بمساعدتكم أتمنى أني أدخل المجلس البلدي.
دكتورة، ونفهم التحديات اللي تواجهكم، لكن إلى الآن ما في أي مبرر طارئ أن نخصص ميزانية تمويل المشروع.
جبني دكتور رجال، لا تفهمني بعيوني.
أبوي اليوم مش بسبب سمع دحين.
لازم نقول لأبوي يمكن يفهمها ويعقلها. أبوي مجنون زيها. صوتوا لي أنا الدكتورة مريم الصفا.
حتى ولا فخر الدنيا إلى حكومة.
ترى مقطعك انتشر في الواتس والكل قام يتداوله.
طبعا في كثير من المواضيع يعني، وانت كامراه اكيد انها تثير اهتمامك.
صحيح انا طبيبه
مثل وضع الحدائق، ملاعب للاطفال.
You saw in there the father of the candidate playing the oud, and the music in this film is phenomenal. There Is No Evil is the first of two films we're showing from Iran. I think just as with Saudi Arabia, many of us in the U.S. make assumptions about the consciousness and politics of people living in Iran. So just like The Perfect Candidate, many are going to be surprised at the fierce and courageous protest the film wages against government policy. The policy in this case is the horrific enforcement of the death penalty in Iran. The film explores this through four interrelated stories, and the director, Mohammad Rasulov, won the Golden Bear in Berlin for this film. He also was sentenced to a year in prison this March for three of his movies, which the Iranian authorities called propaganda against the system. Watch this movie and then go online and find ways to express support for Rasulov's freedom. Our second Iranian film, Yelda, A Night for Forgiveness, won the Grand Jury Prize for World Cinema at Sundance this year. It's an absolutely fascinating dramatization of an actual reality TV show in Iran in which people who are condemned to death plead for forgiveness from those they have wronged, and are either forgiven or not forgiven on the night of Yalda, which is a Persian celebration of the winter solstice. Now, 90 Minutes is from another country like Saudi Arabia that is rarely represented on American movie screens. It's from Honduras, and it's an absolutely breathtaking work of cinematic energy with echoes of Quentin Tarantino. And just like There Is No Evil, it tells four intertwined short stories. But here the subject isn't the death penalty, it's soccer and the passions it arouses in Honduras. Let's look at a bit of it.
Deberías de dejar de ir al estadio.
A mí no pasa nada.
¿De dónde eres? Soy de Honduras.
Mames.
No todos los días tienes la oportunidad de hablar con una leyenda. Leyenda.
Mi nombre es Samuel Borjas, trabajo para el canal 40 de Tegucigalpa. Y si alguien está viendo este video de lo que grabé, por favor alerte a las autoridades.
Okay, the Weasel Tail. The Weasel's Tail, excuse me. This one vies with 90 Minutes as being the most entertaining movie in World Film Weeks this year. It's hilarious, brilliantly scripted and acted. The director is Juan Jose Campanella, who directed the Academy Award-winning Argentine film The Secret in Their Eyes. It's about a group of aging movie people living in a mansion who all treat each other horribly. There's a movie actress who might remind you of Gloria Swanson in Sunset Boulevard. Here's the trailer.
Estuve años surcada de relámpagos, pero veo asomar el sol de tus ojos y de repente estoy cálida y húmeda.
No tenés que comer tanto de noche, Mara.
Ojo, con Mara hay que tener cuidado, que la veo cada vez más flojita, ¿eh?
Mira, si no la mató el olvido del público.
Brindo porque nuestra vida no es como uno de tus guiones.
O sea, no es perfecta.
No, porque lo es. En el cine no existe una vida como la nuestra, sin problemas. Tendría que haber peligro, algo que la amenace, un villano.
Perdón por la invasión. Necesitamos ayuda.
No tenemos.
No le muestres desesperación, son capaces de cobrarte.
¿Mara, verdad?
No lo puedo creer.
Si mi madre viera esto, se muere de nuevo.
Ay, dale mis gracias.
¿Y usted también trabajó en películas?
No, soy pésimo actor, no sé escribir ninguna habilidad.
Es director.
¿Nunca pensó en volver a actuar? Ahora, si vuelva con todo. Tiene que vivir en el centro, se tiene que mudar.
Voy a...
Adding to the roster of acclaimed directors we have in this program, alongside Juan Jose Campanella and Mohammad Rasulov, we have the latest film by Pablo Larraín, who directed Tony Manero, No, Neruda, Jackie, and other art house hits. His new film, Emma, co-stars Gael Garcia Bernal as Gaston, the director of a dance company, and Mariana Di Girolamo, who plays Emma, a dancer in his company who is also Gaston's ex-wife. Emma is a rich and complicated character, and the film gets you inside her head with the help of its striking cinematography. Finally, we have a program that, unlike Emma, is very suited to kids 9 and up, but also for adults who love animation. Some of the best animation in the world is being produced in the Netherlands, and this is a wonderful program. I also suggest that parents go to our website and download the activity guide that we have to come with this program, and I think it will add to your kids' enjoyment and appreciation of this program. That's it. So finally, we're back to the schedule. As I said, each film plays for 48 hours, usually 2 consecutive days. I'm going to quickly take you through the process of watching the films and buying the tickets. I suggest you go to our website, ashlandfilm.org, and click on the slide, Varsity World Film Weeks, which conveniently says click here. It will take you to the World Film Week's landing page. And on there, you'll find a link to a step-by-step guide, which is a more expansive 5-minute video by Susanna Cole, our Film Center coordinator, who will help you through navigating the site. You'll see a link here to download the Varsity Film Week schedule. We have a printable schedule that you can kind of slap on your refrigerator to keep track of when the films are showing up, October 2nd to 15th. But finally, you click on Virtual Festival, schedule and ticket ordering, and it will, that's the downloadable guide. Clicking on Virtual Festival will take you to the main Varsity World Film Week's page, where you'll get to the film guide and the schedule. You'll note on the right, it says Buy Passport. Passports are the discount packages that you can buy. The films individually cost $10 each, or $8 for seniors and students and those experiencing financial hardship. But the passports you can get all 15 films for $100 or $80 discounted. And you also have the option of getting a 7-film passport, which costs $60 or $49 discounted for those eligible. Anyway, by clicking on the film guide, that will take you here, and you will see each of the individual films. You can click on the film you want to see, and it will bring you to a page with the blurb, with the trailer, and also the opportunity to buy tickets or watch the film when it is available. You can also click on the schedule, and it will take you here, and by day you will find each film, and clicking on the right you will be able to order tickets. So that is it. Varsity World Film Weeks is 2 weeks long this year, and I am very proud of the program. I really think you are going to find these films very, very strong. It was very hard to narrow down the selection to these 15, but who knows, maybe we will, on this virtual platform in future months, be showing more of the international films that I wish I could have included. Thank you for checking it out, and go to ashlandfilm.org, Varsity World Film Weeks, and enjoy our programs.